Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we are ranking goalkeepers from the Premier League from the 2020 to the 2021 season, if I can just about say it. We're going to be going through doing a tier list. We've got elite, good, average, poor, and D down below at the bottom. But what we're going to be doing with these keepers, we're going to be talking a bit, not just that season on its own, in kind of just in isolation. We're going to be talking about the whole career in the Premier League. So we're going to start off with Areola. At this point, when this was made, he was back at Fulham, I think, on loan from PSG at the time. A very interesting goalkeeper. I'm going to go straight in and say average. Now, I feel like he's overrated by quite a lot of people, and he's really put on a pedestal because the fact that he was in the France World Cup squad, people have seen he played for PSG. He's also played for Real Madrid. He's had a very good career, but at West Ham currently, he keeps to find himself being dropped by Flapianski. Sorry, I keep calling him Flapianski because I made the joke once, and now I can't help but say it. But I look at him as a whole. I think he's an average goalkeeper, but I do think from a lot of people, he is kind of really put on a high pedestal. I think he's an okay Premier League goalkeeper. You don't play for West Ham and play for Fulham and play for as many seasons as he has and got as many appearances in the Premier League as he has done if you're a bad keeper. So I just think he's average. Nothing too special. Next, we've got Kasper Schmeichel. Geez, I'm going to put him in good. He's a Premier League winner, absolutely integral to everything that was good about Leicester. And when Leicester sold him, that was then the season that they went down. They really relied on him. He was a leader on and off the pitch. And what I really like about him, he was just absolutely colossal, wasn't he? All I remember is just being an absolute man mountain in goal, and he was so good for so many years at Leicester. And it was very odd how he ended up leaving the club, going off to, I think it was Nice in the French division, and he's now playing in the Scottish Premier League currently for Celtic, doing quite well. But yet the whole kind of situation, how he left, was a really odd situation. But this guy was playing in the Champions League, was captain of the club for quite a while as well. Really good goalkeeper. I think he was very consistent at a very high level, whether it's Champions League, when they won the FA Cup as well. I think you got to put him in good. Not elite, because I think he was part of a really good squad that really kind of overachieved, really looking back, especially when you look at the 11. But I think he was kind of one of the part of the spine, one of the players that could be relied on for so many years. Okay, then next we're talking about Hugo Lloris. I'm going to say good. I'm going to probably put him ahead. No, John, I'm going to put him below Kasper Schmeichel just because of what Kasper Schmeichel won. I think, again, another goalkeeper that for some reason does get a lot of slander, including by myself. I spoke about the way he left the club, and he was quite a weak goalkeeper towards the end. He kind of didn't really move with the times. It didn't really work out. A very frustrating goalkeeper at points and towards the end. I think people really like to remember how sour it got towards the end. But and as an actual goalkeeper, as an actual shot stopper, he's one of the world's best at a time. So I don't think he's elite because I don't think he was at the top of his game for long enough as compared to some of the goalkeepers that are on this list. But I'm going to say good, and a very good goalkeeper, very reliable again. Next, we've got Jordan Pickford. Now, I'm going to put him in the bottom of good. I know we've got a lot of good goalkeepers now at the minute, but don't worry, there's some stinkers coming in the future. But Jordan Pickford, another goalkeeper that I really like the fact that he's stuck with Everton for as long as he has, because realistically, I think he probably could have moved on and gone on to bigger and better things, moved on to a bigger club. Like I know he's been linked with Manchester United and clubs like that. But I really like him as a goalkeeper, played well for Sunderland when he first came through, and then obviously Everton, he's been very consistent, probably their best player on reflection in this era. And it's really odd because of how poor Everton have done as a whole, really. So you've got to look at him. And yes, I know he's constantly getting his goal peppered, but I think he's a very good goalkeeper, done very well for England as well. So he's got to go in good. Next, we've got McCarthy. I'm going to put McCarthy straight in D. Now, for me, he's a very odd goalkeeper. Now, I understand he's reliable. He's not awful, but he just doesn't, he's not convincing, is he? And that's the problem. Like, he's not like the worst goalkeeper of all time, but he's just one of those goalkeepers that you kind of just think of straight away, and you think of relegation sides. Even this season when he's played for Southampton, he just can't do it. He's a really good number two, a kind of goalkeeper that you kind of want behind somebody else. Kind of, he's got the experience, got the know-how to play every now and then when the goalkeeper gets injured. But if he's just starting goalkeeper, he's not good enough. And you've seen he's been relegated a few times now in the Premier League. So yeah, I'm gonna put him in D. I don't think he's good enough. Let's be honest. Next, we've got Nick Pope. I'm also going to put him at the bottom of good, and I feel like now am I getting too many keepers in this good? So we might have to look back at this in the future. Burnley was absolutely colossal, and he's gone on to do great things in Newcastle as well. I think he's a very good goalkeeper, one of the best in the league every single year whenever he plays. Yes, I understand he's not great with his feet, but as an actual goalkeeper, I think he's incredible. Next, we've got Robert Sanchez. Now, I want to put Robert Sanchez above Areola, but in the top of average. Now, Robert Sanchez, I have a real love-hate relationship with him. Now, he's a goalkeeper, which can be really frustrating at times, and you think about some of the mistakes he makes quite often, especially now we've seen since he joined Chelsea, he had that big price tag, but he's not really lived up to the right moment. And I understand he's got one of the best save percentages in the league, but he also has a lot of errors leading to goal. So he really frustrates me as a goalkeeper, and I understand he's a goalkeeper, a modern-day goalkeeper that fits the philosophy that Chelsea want to play, and the same at Brighton, but he was dropped at Brighton before he was sold, and I'm surprised he hasn't been dropped at Chelsea for some of the absolute clangers that we've seen. So yes, he's a good goalkeeper on his day, but he also has got a clanger in him. So I'm going to say average. Next, we have got David De Gea. Now I'm going to put David De Gea in elite. Now a lot of people who've watched my channel will remember the way I spoke about him towards the end of his time at Manchester United. But I think it was a really horrible era to be a goalkeeper at Manchester United, and he was one of the most consistent players at Manchester United for about 5 or 6 years. He was so huge for Manchester United in that really stinky era. Like he was looked on so many times, and he delivered. One of the best goalkeepers, and he was getting the Golden Glove award a few times. Absolutely integral. And I think about some of those saves he made, and I remember games like against Arsenal when he was absolutely saving absolutely everything. This guy was an absolute joke on his day, and I think why I really struggled is because Man United wanted to move on and wanted the goalkeeper to play out from the back, but that wasn't him. But he was still a very good goalkeeper, and I think he became the scapegoat. And I was probably part of the problem, like a lot of people were. You couldn't help but look at him being part of the problem. But I think really now, stepping back on reflection, how much of an improvement is Onana? Not so much. So yeah, elite goalkeeper, and for what he did in the Premier League for so long, I think you've got to kind of respect it, haven't you? Next, we've got Allison. Allison for me is the top of elite. Now, when I talk about Allison, I talk about this all the time, and I think Allison is one of the best goalkeepers of all time in the Premier League. I absolutely loved him. Watching him every week, and I know he's injured at the minute. That's why I say I loved him because I kind of can't talk about him in this very moment. But you think about so many times, this goalkeeper is an absolute joke. He is like the perfect goalkeeper when you think about it. He can play out from the back. He's confident. He's commanding. He demands so much from the defence. He's an organiser, but he's just so good. And he's one of the only goalkeepers I can think of in this list. And to be honest, in the modern era, where one on one, I always think he's the favourite. I don't understand how he does it. He makes himself so big. I absolutely love him. Yeah, so he's probably for me one of the, if not the best goalkeeper of all time in the Premier League. And I think a lot of people will be like, "What on earth?" But recency bias and things. But I think he's absolutely amazing. He's got the perfect blend of all the components you need to be a perfect goalkeeper in the modern day. Next, we've got Aaron Ramsdale. Aaron Ramsdale is a really, really, really difficult one for me now. Now, I think is he average? Is he good? Is he elite? Now you understand. You think about the time and what happened at Arsenal. And yes, he was good, but the way he was got rid of by Arteta, I think, has really tarnished his career. And now he's kind of slumming it at Southampton. Probably going to get relegated. He's got relegated with Bournemouth, Sheffield United, and probably going to get relegated with Southampton. He's kind of got that looming over him. But as a goalkeeper, I do think he's good. But I'm going to go average because I think when you compare him to some of the players in the good here, I don't think he's as good as those goalkeepers. So I'm going to put him as the top of average, and maybe we might change it over time in this video. I'm just looking. He's at Sheffield United in this era, and he got relegated with them at that point. But yeah, just a really weird goalkeeper, quite frustrating. He's a proper confidence goalkeeper, and what I liked about him is I liked the S House area. I thought he was quite commanding, made some very good saves. But as soon as I don't know whether Arteta ruined him or what. I don't know how I'd describe it, but you saw the drop off was quite fast, and really at the top of his game, he wasn't. He was elite for probably about a season, maybe a season and a half. So yeah, I'm going to go in. Yeah, I'm going to go there, average. Next, got Edouard Mendy. Now, Edouard Mendy's a really weird one. Didn't really feature that much. Came in kind of as a replacement for Kepa. Probably played about a season and a half at the top level. Good goalkeeper on his day, but also had a lot of clangers. So I'm going to go average again. Top of average though. Probably slightly better. I'll probably say Ramsdale's slightly better than Edouard Mendy. But a lot of people might now think that's a little bit harsh. But again, you think of so many clangers. I think about this. I think it was Masuake for West Ham, Masuake, and he crossed it and ended up lobbing him around Christmas time for Chelsea. And he was gotten rid of as well quite fast because, again, a goalkeeper that was pretty average, made a lot of mistakes, but I think he was just in a Chelsea time where anybody was better than Kepa, so he kind of looked a lot better. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Next, anyway, we have got Meslier. Now, Meslier for me is a very weird goalkeeper. One that I had such high hopes for at the time when he first came through. He was playing week in, week out for this Leeds side at such a young age at this era. And he's still a very young goalkeeper, but he has so many mistakes in him. He's not confident at all. Whenever all the fans, you can hear them groaning and moaning every time he gets the ball. It's because you're nervous. You're going to wait for mistakes. I even think about it this season when he's been playing for Leeds, the mistake against Sunderland and things like that. He costs his team so many points, but it's a really weird one because he quite clearly is a good goalkeeper. It's just like the lapse in judgment and concentration, which you've got to be an elite goalkeeper. So I think He's probably, yeah, I'd probably say he's indeed, because I can't put him in poor because he makes so many mistakes. Next, we've got Gaeta, another one that I'm going to put probably the top. Is he poor? I'd probably say he's better than those two, so I'm going to put him poor. A goalkeeper that kind of left Crystal Palace in a very weird way. I think he just wanted out in the end. He was a reliable goalkeeper again. I think when we talk about these kind of goalkeepers in and around the bottom sides, I think you've got to have a shot stopper. And I think Gaeta was a shot stopper more so than these two. And I remember he made a few mistakes, but not as many as these two at the bottom. So yeah, we'll put him in poor. Next, we've got Emi Martinez. I'm going to put him in elite in the top. We know we speak about him all the time. One of the best goalkeepers right now on the planet. No one really thought that he would do. The way he left Arsenal, went to Aston Villa. I don't think, and for the fee they paid, it's an incredible signing, really, what he's gone on to achieve. Yashin Trophy back to back, getting them, helping them get to the Champions League and the Conference League. I think he's a brilliant goalkeeper, don't get me wrong. I think he's one of the world's best, and we've seen what he's done for Argentina and things. But as a Premier League goalkeeper, I'm going to put him in that top list here as the elite ones. Next, got Rui Patricio. Rui Patricio is a weird one again. Another goalkeeper. I'd say he's probably an average, and I'd probably say he's probably above Areola. Another one that's really weird came on a free from Sporting Lisbon, and I know there was a lot of drama when he did join and how he joined and things like that. But we'll leave that out of the video. But he was a goalkeeper that when he first came, I think his name was a lot, and everyone like with the name he'd got and the amount of times we've seen him play for Portugal and the way he'd play for Portugal, I think everyone expected a lot more from him. So I think he was an average goalkeeper, but quite underwhelming, really, how it went at Wolves. Quite a lot of mistakes and things, but he was getting on as a player. And I think the expectation of the name and the clubs he'd come from and kind of what we remembered from him, the fact that he was a Euros winner and everything like that, I think we expected a lot more from him. So he was a little bit of a disappointment of a signing, and especially the way he left as well. So we're going to put him in average. A lot of mistakes as well. Next, we've got Sam Johnston. Sam Johnston, I'll probably say poor, probably better than Gaeta. Actually ended up replacing Gaeta, I think, at Crystal Palace, went on a free, and he's now at Wolves. One of those goalkeepers, again, those in and around bottom half the table, relegation kind of goalkeepers, but one that doesn't fill you with too much confidence. An incredible shot stopper, but the one thing I always get disappointed with Sam Johnston is he's not confident enough. Again, he was at my club for this season, and we got relegated with him as a goalkeeper. Somebody that, again, shot stopping wise, the numbers he was putting up that season, I'm pretty sure this season when we went down as West Brom, that season, which he's photographed there in COVID, I think he made the most saves in the league. And yes, I know that's because of West Brom and the way they were playing and things, and the way our goals can't get peppered. So he was reliable in that sense, but just he's not good enough to be on that next level when you look at those kind of goalkeepers. Some of these are internationals. Like, yes, I know he's got a few international caps, but he's nowhere near as good as some of these goalkeepers we're talking about on the next level. So he's one of those goalkeepers that doesn't fill you with confidence, got a mistake, and he isn't commanding as well. And a lot of people, I remember every West Brom fan used to joke about the fact that even though he's over 6 foot, he plays as if he's 5'10", 5'11", because he was never commanding from crosses and things. And that was kind of one of his kind of weaknesses with his games. That's why I'm going to put him in poor. Next, we've got Leno. Now, Burnt Leno, I'm going to go in good. I'm going to put him right at the bottom of good. And I think he's a very underrated goalkeeper. Now, again, another goalkeeper that was kind of the way he left Arsenal and things like that. Everyone kind of then spoke about the fact that he wasn't good enough. But then we've seen now at Fulham, he's been one of the better goalkeepers in around, not like one of the best, not one of the number one goalkeepers, but consistent good Premier League goalkeeper now for a while, and it's why Fulham have gone on to become a really like part of the spine of the Premier League now. And they've been consistent now for so many years, not really in relegation battles because of a goalkeeper like him, because he's so reliable. He's not your 6 out of 10s like some of these boys, like your Gaitas and your Johnstons, your McCarthy, your Mesliers, all of these guys. This guy is one of the best goalkeepers consistently in around probably like the top five goalkeepers, probably like towards the end of it. But every season, so that's why you've got to kind of put him in here. He never seems to be injured as well. I really like him as a goalkeeper, and that's why he's gone on to captain Fulham as well. Next, we've got Fabianski. Now, Fabianski, for me, uh, as a whole, in and around Areola. What again? Between the two of them, they don't even know. West Ham don't even know who's the better goalkeeper. So I'm going to put him in average for his time at Swansea as well. Arsenal as a backup keeper for so many years, and West Ham as well, being a bit part goalkeeper, switching with Areola all the time. He's a reliable goalkeeper again, but he's not. You're not like one of the best, is he? So I think that's fair enough to put him there. Next, we have got Carl Darlow. Now, Carl Darlow is definitely in at the bottom for me. A very odd goalkeeper, always making mistakes. I never really got it with him. So yeah, definitely in and around there. At the bottom, I think just leave it at that, really. Nothing more really needs to be said. Then we've got Edison, and he's got to go in elite. Now, Edison, for me, is a very weird goalkeeper. Kind of a lot of people talk about the fact and discuss, yes, he's great with his feet and things like that. And that is the kind of thing we highlight. And you can't help it because he's one of the world's best, but that is not his only part of the game. He is a good shot stopper. Yes, he's not as good as some of the rest of these players, like your Martinez and your De Gea's and your Allisons, but as a whole, he's still an incredible goalkeeper. You don't win as much as you do and become one of the most successful goalkeepers in Premier League history and be a poor player. Do you know what I mean? He's an incredible goalkeeper, and I think it's quite an easy narrative and quite lazy just to say, "Oh, he's just a goalkeeper. He's just great with his feet." He's still a very good goalkeeper, and I think we're seeing that a lot more so this season. I know he was dropped recently for his performance against Feyenoord, but I think for the rest of the season he's been pretty decent. To be fair, so yeah, I'm going to put him in elite. So that is my goalkeepers rank from the 2020 to 2021 season. Comment down below what weird eras of football do you want me to rank and kind of discuss, because I quite enjoy looking back at some of these seasons. Because when else are we going to talk about players like Ramsdale at Sheffield United? Who else is going to talk about Gaeta at Crystal Palace? Do you know what I mean? That's why this channel is the best. But if you haven't already, please do smash the like button. Please do subscribe. We are on the hunt to get 10,000 subscribers. We are chasing it down. It's only just over there. We are absolutely smashing it, and there's lots of live streams coming, loads of shorts being uploaded all the time. So please do smash the like button. Please do subscribe and comment down below your thoughts on this video. But thank you guys for watching. Book out Sam, over and out. Hopefully you have a good week and all of your teams win. We'll be doing some Premier League predictions as well. Hopefully tomorrow, if this video goes out when I think it will do. But thank you guys for watching. Book out Sam, over and out. See you guys soon. Peace.